Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome back. This is Calm Space episode 4. We had a break last week because I had some holiday. So hope you didn't miss the video, but this is the next episode now. Thank you for your feedback on the last video. Some people said that they really liked the lying down practice. They found it very restful. So do continue to practice that one if you did find it helpful. Today, I wanted to say a little bit more before we start with some practices about the fight-flight system. So this feels something that can be really helpful to know about. As human beings, we are wired for survival. So one of the ways that we survived as a species was by having this fight-flight mode of our nervous system, so that when there's a danger, so in our evolutionary past, it would have been something like a tiger, we can immediately, without thinking, run away or fight. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with that concept of the fight-flight system. So in modern day life, we still have this fight-flight system, but of course, we don't need to see many tigers, not in Brighton anyway. But what happens is that system that was meant to help us survive in times of extreme danger is used for different things that it's not so helpful for. So we tend to go into the fight-flight system when we're very worried about something that might happen in the future, or because of some experiences from the past, we feel very worried they might happen again. And what can happen is that we can get very caught in the fight-flight system a lot of the time because we're thinking about things that might happen in the future that we feel worried about. And it's really understandable and really normal, but it doesn't really support good mental or physical health. So, of course, at the moment with the coronavirus, a lot of us are feeling worried about the future. We're feeling that we might become unwell, or somebody that we know might become unwell. And that's really understandable. And a lot of us are sharing those sorts of feelings. And of course, we need to do what we can. We need to make sure that we're washing our hands regularly, that we're keeping 2 meters apart from people when we go out. Some of us need to not go out very much. So if that's what our health professional has said. So of course, we need to do all of those things to keep ourselves and other people safe. But beyond doing those things, it's quite important that we give ourselves some time to come out of the fight and flight so that we're not constantly worried about the coronavirus, and we give our systems a chance just to sort of calm and to come into the other mode that our nervous system has, which is sometimes called the rest and digest. So we have these two different modes. We have the fight and flight, and we have the rest and digest, also called the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight, or the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. And we've all probably had experience of the rest and digest when we're sitting down, we're relatively relaxed, perhaps we're watching something that we enjoy on the television, we're with a friend or a family member that we're having an enjoyable time with, and we feel okay in the world. So that's the sort of thing that we want to cultivate more on in our daily lives. And there are some practices that we can do that can really help us to do that if we do them regularly. And they're very short and easy. And there's some of the things that we've been doing in these videos that can really help with that. So what I thought we would do today would be to go over some of the things that we've already done, because it's just really helpful sometimes just to go over things so that they become more familiar. And then there'll be a couple of new things as well. So we'll make a start. And as I always say, you'll be used to this by now if you've been watching these videos. Doing whatever feels right for you. If anything that I'm guiding doesn't feel right for you today in this moment, feel free to leave it out or to adapt it to a way that feels more comfortable for you. And we'll start with a bit of movement. So you're becoming a bit familiar with this now. So the tapping practice can be really helpful as a way of getting us just to connect with the sensations of our body and just to a sense of soothing and calming ourselves. So if we just begin to do that now, and remembering that we can do this either very gently or more firmly, whatever feels right for us today. And just feeling the sensations in your scalp as we tap. I just have to plug my computer in, so just one moment. I'm pausing for a moment, noticing how our scalp feels now after the tapping. And we'll do a little bit of face massage again, so we can hold a bit of tension in our faces. So it's really helpful just to release some of that, maybe around the jaw, the forehead, and smooth out any tension held in the forehead. You might want to do that very gently or a bit more firmly. And don't do this one if you have contact lenses, or remove your glasses if you wear glasses. But we can just smooth down, almost like warm water, flowing down our face and neck a few times. Okay. And then we'll do some neck rolls. So imagining that there's a pane of glass in front of your face and drawing circles with your nose. Maybe slowly and gently so that we don't get dizzy, not doing anything that feels uncomfortable or painful. Coming to pause and then going the other direction. Pausing again. We'll do some shoulder rolls. So we'll do these slightly differently this time. Bringing your shoulders up as high as you possibly can to your ears, and then letting them go. Bringing them up as high as you can, almost as if you could touch your ears with your shoulders, squeezing them in, and then letting go completely. And we'll do that a couple more times. You can do a bit of a sigh if that helps with the sense of releasing tension. Okay. And we'll do some side bends again. So bringing up one of your arms straight above your head if that feels comfortable. And it might be that you bend just a little bit, or it might be that you bend a little bit more, whatever feels right for you. And then feeling this long stretch side of the body and just allowing yourself to breathe freely. Bringing the arm up straight and down. And we'll try the same on the other side. And the arm up straight, bending and feeling the stretch. So hopefully we're feeling a little bit warmer and looser in our upper bodies and face and head now. And we'll do a short practice. So this one you might remember from the first video, it's the finger breathing. So you can do this once a day, or you could do it when you're beginning to feel a little bit panicky or wobbly. So choosing one of your hands, doesn't matter which one. And then with the other hand, we're going to trace around and we're going to use the movements of the breath. So breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And we'll go back the other way now. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. So you can do that as many times as feels helpful. You could even go maybe 4 or 5 times back and forth. And that practice is really good because we're slowing down our breath, which is very calming, just to slow down our breath. And you can do that very slowly if that feels helpful too. And we're also connecting with the sensation of touch, which can mean that we're connected to the present moment and coming out of thoughts about the future or the past. So that's a really helpful thing to do, is to come into the present moment. Okay, so now we'll do the Fofbok practice that I think we did in video 2. So you might remember that Fofbok stands for feet on floor, bum on chair. Also can be known just as a short grounding practice. Takes about 5 minutes. And again, you can do this if you're sitting on the bus, whilst you're sitting just at home. Maybe you've had a cup of tea, there's a bit of a break, you don't have anything particularly that you need to do. It's a way of grounding yourself. And also you can do it if you are starting to feel a bit anxious, a bit confused or overwhelmed. And it's good just to get into a comfortable posture first. So having both feet flat on the floor is generally helpful, so that we have a sense of sort of stability in the lower body. And if it feels okay, sitting relatively upright, so we're not sort of forcing or straining, but we're also not sort of slumping and feeling a bit drowsy. So there's just a sense of gently sitting upright. And you can keep your eyes open if that feels okay for you, or gently close them, whichever feels right. And we'll start by bringing our attention down into our feet. So feeling the contact between our feet and the floor. So those direct sensations of touch, tingling, warmth, feeling the carpet, feeling the socks or shoes, and then feeling the whole of the rest of the feet, the toes, the tops of the feet. And then we're going to slowly just move our attention upwards. So as well as the feet now, including a sense of the ankles. And then moving up to include a sense of the lower legs as well. So the long shin bone and the calf muscle. And it might be that your mind is very busy and tugging you away. It's really normal. You don't need to worry about it. Just notice that Just gently bringing ourselves back to this sense of the feet and the lower legs. So all of the physical sensations that you can feel. It might be you can't feel very much. It might be that there's quite a lot of sensations. Just whatever's there, just the ordinary sensations. And then moving the attention up and including the knees, the bends of the knees, kneecaps, the back of the knees, inside the knee. And then including the upper legs. So right from the knee to the buttocks. So in that you might notice sensations of pressure where you're sitting on the chair or the sofa. You might feel the weight of your body pressing down through the bones of the buttocks. And then just having a sense, just for a few moments, of the whole of both of your legs and both of your feet. Whole field of changing sensations, moment by moment. Noticing if thoughts pull us away and just gently coming back. Feeling contact, touch of air on your skin, feeling of your clothing. And that's it. Bring that to a close. It's a really easy practice, the Fofbok. One last thing I wanted to mention as a slightly new practice for this video is gratitude. So one of the things that we have as human beings, as well as this fight-flight response, is a tendency to notice things that are difficult. And that, again, is part of our survival mechanism, that we needed to notice where threats are so that we could avoid them in order to survive. So we're quite keyed in to focusing on things that are going wrong, things that are difficult, things that maybe we're fearful of. And that's really natural and really understandable. But what we can do as a practice is just gently to introduce moving our attention onto something that is easier, something that feels good. And one way of doing that is gratitude. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It might be, at the moment, things are quite difficult for us, but there can be just one thing that we can identify that we feel grateful for. So, for example, right now I'm looking out of my window and I can see that there is a clear blue sky and the sun is shining. And I can have a sense of feeling grateful for that. So you might want to do that now, just in looking around you, finding one thing. It might be a mug that you just really like to have a cup of tea in. It might be an object that you have in your room that someone gave to you that feels special. Maybe you can hear the birds singing. Just a small, simple thing. So that's the last suggestion. So we had the movement practice today. And then we did the finger breathing, the Fofbok practice, and then the gratitude. And one last thing to say, if you did find the gratitude practice helpful, if that is something that you find helpful, what some people do at the end of each day is to think or even write down 5 things that they felt grateful for that day. So you can count off on your fingers. I sometimes do that at night if I can't sleep. I think of different things that I feel grateful for, and it helps my system just to calm a little bit and to feel less worried. So again, do send me feedback by email. You'll have my email with this video. There won't be a video next week as I have another day off on Thursday. The following week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and you might have heard that the theme is kindness. So I'm going to do a Calm Space special for that week on the theme of kindness. So there'll be practices that help us to be kind mainly towards ourselves, because that's sometimes the thing that we find most difficult, is being kind towards ourselves. So we'll be exploring that a little bit together. I hope you find this video helpful, and see you in a couple of weeks.